passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that they are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Our features and our skin and our blood, why we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.
Them older people. Oh, see Jumbo, everybody. How
hello,
y'all doing?
hello.
I was talking to Miss Catherine here. I'm sorry. I'm your host, Catherine Hunter Williams, and this is my co-host, Catherine. Lord, I'm finna call you Hunter. Miss Catherine Blake.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. I'm sorry, I was caught off a little off guard because I was talking to Catherine about these movies that's coming out, these black movies coming out today.
Yeah.
Are having the older people in there talking about them hanging pants.
Amen.
So there's a little war, whether anybody realized it. It's been a war going on, especially with us. But now it's going to come out in the movies. Mm-hmm. And maybe these chaps that go and see them may take it to heart and pull their pants up.
Well, you know, it's real funny, too, because now that everyone is having issue with it, it seems like they're letting them hang down even lower.
Yep.
I seen a guy had his down to his
thighs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what? I
don't understand the purpose of it. It's not sexy. Mm-mm. It's not, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's, each generation has their own. Because I remember my mother them never called it devil's music and stuff like that, but some of the religious people did Motown. But we listened to Motown anyway. Mm-hmm. And each generation has their own thing, but this is the lowest to me.
Yeah.
With the pants hanging off. And then the girls were doing it at a moment. And also this rise of lesbianism that's coming up among the girls. This is a time that is just strange. But not saying that the Lord didn't say it was going to happen.
Right,
but
right.
I never thought I would see our young men walking around with their pants hanging off their butts.
Especially as low as it is now.
And then they have children.
Right.
I done seen it with children. And you passing this on to your child. And I'm looking at the girl that's with him. Where your mentality at? Why would you want a man with his pants hanging off? What's the deal with that? Okay, we move on. Because we can talk a while about that one. We'd like to welcome you all once again to Satora's Black History Corner Internet program. Our stories about our American African heritage and culture. Satora's Black History Corner Internet program comes to you via satellite at www.ustream.tv channel Flint-Talk-Radio. And then I have seen it come before that, so I'll give it to you again before the program is over. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month starting at 3:30. Also be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. As always, we'd like to invite you to call in with any questions or comments at 810-208-1833. 1854. That's 810-208-1854. Just let us know there's somebody out there listening. Give us a call.
Absolutely.
Today we're going to tell our story about one of the world's greatest musicians, Jimi Hendrix. And Miss B is going to continue our story with the last of the series of famous black women, doctors, and scientists.
Absolutely.
Let's pass it on.
Amen. Today we want to talk about Miss Mae Jemison. And she is the first African-American woman to travel in space. And she did that September 12th through the 20th of 1992 on the Space Shuttle Endeavour. And that was a mission. She was the mission specialist, and that was the STS-47, which means that's the cooperative mission between the United States and Japan. And she was doing life sciences processing experiments.
Can I ask you a question?
By the way, I met her.
You did?
Yeah, she was at U of M. She was part of the Distinguished Speakers Series, and I was the one that had a videotape her. I was working at U of M at the time.
When was that?
It had to be before 2000, probably 1999.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
And I was saying there was like 4 or 5 of that year. It was really outstanding, and it was a good lecture.
I know that was.
And you got to meet her and see her.
I talked to her
person.
briefly. I said hi to her. Basically, there was a lot of people. It was a luncheon. Plus, they had she made her speech.
But that's still so awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I
to
met
see a living legend. I
met her. I met Abba Eban, who was one of the founders of the state of Israel. And I also met, later on I met P.J. O'Rourke. I also met William Raspberry. I met a lot of people there through the, being the videographer of those events. So
yeah.
Wow.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Just shake her hand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was very, very polite, very accommodating, very, very gracious woman. Very nice.
Oh, okay.
Made a very good speech about, she also talked about the trying to get the youth involved in, science and
more science,
math and stuff like that, and also the necessary thing to keep the NASA going. It was really it was a good talk.
Thanks.
Amen.
Thanks, John. Now I got a question. I know she was the first black woman. Were there any others that we know of after her? I think we talked about one. I can't think of her name, but I think it was only one that.
Yeah, that was
young girl.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a
program on
right.
her. Yeah.
Okay, and this is something that's interesting too. Even though she's a scientist, she starred on Star Trek.
Did she?
Yes, she did. Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, The Next Generation. I didn't watch that one. I watched the other one. I'm old school, so I never watched the new Next Generation.
Well, they're on still. I'm going to check it out to see if I can see her on there.
Yeah.
She
gonna look like an alien, like they have.
No.
Well, they have different aliens on there.
Well, she said she was encouraged when she watched the first Star Trek with Lieutenant Uhura. Mm-hmm. That was Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah.
She said that encouraged her to want to, be in science, to do something in science, to be an astronaut. And then she got a chance to be in the starring role, and she did it.
And one thing about Star Trek, it was ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah.
Way ahead of its time.
I was a teenager watching Star Trek.
And the things that they got today, they got zappers and stuff
right,
like that.
Right.
The cell phone you carry right now has probably got more capabilities than even the tricorder that they carried in their communications device.
Right.
You can let's face it, they didn't have video.
They could transport themselves from here to another space.
You know the reason why they did that though? Because the reason why they came up with the idea of transporting, because it's probably going to always be a physical impossibility. Because molecular structure,
it scrambles those molecular the molecules in the body,
right.
And they may not come all back together.
Right,
like in The Fly.
Exactly.
The reason why they came up with the idea of beaming people to the planets and stuff is because such a large ship. I mean, that ship is like humongous. How are they going to land it? How are they going to take off from it if the planet's got any gravitational pull?
Right.
So they came up with it. Basically, it was a last minute thing.
Wow.
And so if you they have like it was like people said, well, that's an impossibility. They said, yeah, but we got to have something to cover this. So basically, that's what they came up with.
Are you a Trekkie?
Yeah, I'm not a real diehard. Not a real diehard. I never lived in my parents' basement or anything, but, it was the thing is the message that they sent through Star Trek was actually basically technology was a good thing, and it actually made us overcome a lot of our barriers that we had pre-existing. Plus, it could always, like science fiction can always do this. It can take aim at something that's bad in society at that point, but coach it in terms of alien planets, and people get less hostile. But maybe eventually they cause them to think like, gee, that's kind of similar to what's going on here. But they don't have the resistance.
Yeah, they did have a lot of different aliens, like you said. There was different, well, we call them different races. Some of them would get along and some of them would not. But also, it also let people know that this Earth is not the only planet in the universe, because they traveled to different planets
and where life was there.
Yeah,
where there was life. It was
a very interesting program. And I'm not a Trekkie, but I did watch it when when I was growing up. I watched it, but I never got really to the next generation or to all this stuff that's going on now. They got a lot still going on from that. But it opens your eyes. But hers, that was very interesting to know that because of Michelle Nichols, that she was on this television program. As what was she was a communicator or something, right? And that inspired her, to become a scientist. But
also when she was young, this might sound a little crazy, but she was interested in what pus was.
Oh.
Yeah, when she was young, like 4 years old.
Well, that would be interesting because I used to wonder what it is.
And that piqued that science in her, you know. Plus her mom and dad, they encouraged her to get more education,
and we do have to do that. We have to push our children. I tell my grandchildren I have high expectations, but most of all I want you to have high expectations of yourself.
Right. Well, she graduated from high school at 16 and she went into college at the age of 16.
Oh, gone girl.
I said, wow.
Oh, Miss Jimson. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. And with her DNA analysis, she had that done. And she found out that she is descendants from the people in Cameroon, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Guyana, and Senegal. I said, okay, girl, I want to get mine done too, See where we are.
My 23, you can get it on the internet. My 23.
My 23.
It's $100, and they send you the kit and the instructions, and you send it back to them, and you do a saliva test, and that's what they do.
Yeah. Oh, really?
It's pretty accurate. They can tell you.
John Lewis Gates did that. Had us to.
What is it again? My what?
My 23. My 23. My 23.
My
23.
Okay.
My 23.
All right. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
So, John, you gonna put some more of Miss Jimison's pictures up there? Thank you.
Okay,
and more of them. You know that, right?
Well, she graduated from Stafford College. Stafford College is the one she entered in at the age of 16. She graduated with a Bachelor of Science of Chemical Engineering, and she's got 9 honorary doctoral degrees in science, engineering, letters, and in humanities. The girl is tough.
But let me read about this picture that they're looking at right now, where she clicked her heels.
Oh, yeah, they say she was clicking her heels in that picture there.
That tells.
It says that this was the STS-47 mission, the one with between the United States and Japan. Mission specialist Mae Jemison appears to be clicking her heels in zero gravity in the center aisles of the Space Lab, Japan, science module aboard the Earth orbiting Endeavour, orbiter vehicle OV-105, making her only flight in space. Jemison was joined by 5 other NASA astronauts and a Japanese payload specialist for 8 days of research in support of the SLJ mission, a joint effort between Japan and the United States.
But that's a beautiful picture of her.
Yes.
Doing that, and she's floating. She's floating in space on that picture.
Yeah. She has a doctorate in medicine from Cornell Medical College. She got that in 1981. And she did build a dance studio at her hometown, and she has produced and choreographed several shows of modern jazz and African dance. And she launched support activity at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and she has a verification of shuttle computer software in Shuttle Aviance Integration Laboratories. She was the first class astronaut selected after the Challenger accident. You remember that? Mm-hmm. In 1986? It seemed like a lot of the astronauts after that would have a fear, but she didn't. She went on. She was the first ones in that class. And
she looked like she doesn't have fear.
She didn't have any fear.
I mean, look at her up there on that picture floating in there, clicking her heels like
she don't have any fear.
That girl that was Take Me Home, click, click, her heels.
In 1999, she founded the BioCinema Corp. This was to develop a portable device that allows monitoring the nervous system. This is therapy to allow patients to monitor and control their psychology, sociology, as a treatment for anxiety and stress, related disorders of nausea and migraine and tension headaches, chronic pain, hypertension, and hypotension. I thought that was really very interesting to do that. Mm-hmm. She's developing that. And in 1996, she had an incident with an officer, a policeman in the Nassau Bay, Texan. She put a complaint of brutality against him because he treated her really bad, even though, whether he knew who she was or not, but he really treated her really bad, which made her feel very unsafe in Texas being a black woman. Mm-hmm. Because of the brutality. He says she made a U-turn, an illegal U-turn. And she was arrested because she had a speeding ticket she didn't pay for. And I said, wow.
Well.
And treated her like that?
They some other things that they treated her like once while serving as a doctor for the Peace Corps, because she is in 1981.
Right, yeah.
She obtained her Doctor of Medicine degree, so she's a doctor.
She's a doctor.
Physical doctor. But once while serving as a doctor for the Peace Corps, a volunteer got sick and a doctor diagnosed malaria. The volunteer, because she's a volunteer, got progressively worse. The person that was volunteering got progressively worse. And Jemison was sure was meningitis with life-threatening complications.
Good Lord.
That could not be treated in Sierra Leone. So Jemison called for an Air Force hospital plane based in Germany for a military medical evacuation at the cost of $80,000.
Wow.
The embassy questioned whether Jameson had the authority to give such an order. Okay. But she told them she did not need anyone's permission for a medical decision. By the time the plane reached Germany with Jemison and the volunteer on board, she had been up with the patient for 56 hours and the patient survived.
All right.
She didn't need that. She didn't need nobody to tell. What gives you the authority to do this?
See, the woman wasn't scared.
No, she wasn't. Mm-hmm. And you can't be afraid when you got something you want to do, because if you are afraid, don't step out here then. Mm-hmm. Don't step out. She also is a currently leading 100-year Starship, an initiative to assure the capability for human interstellar space travel to another star is possible within the next 100 years. I said, girl, you just go ahead on, Miss Jimmy.
Go ahead on, girl.
She's also NASA's first science mission specialist, performing experiments in material science, life science, and human adaptation to weightlessness. All right, that picture with her weightless, in whatever this was. What was a space lab? Zero gravity. Man, this woman, she's not a girl anymore, but she started off as a girl.
She sure did.
And she was awesome.
She sure did. Go ahead on, girlfriend.
Yeah. That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, Since we got about 5 minutes, John.
You got more than that. You got about 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Then just a little bit more about Miss Jimson.
okay.
Okay. Because of her love of dance and as a salute to creativity, and you had spoke to about her starting dance studios. She loved to dance.
Yes,
she
she
loves
did.
African dancing, but she also loved dancing art, American dancers,
Yeah, she learned all different type dancing.
all kind.
Yeah, she even the Japanese dance, ballet, jazz, modern dance. She was into it.
When she went to space, she took a poster from the Alvin Ailey American Dance Company along with her on her flight. Many people do not see, she says this, many people do not see a connection between science and dance. I never would have seen it until I read about her. But I consider them to both be expressions of boundless creativity that people have to share with one another.
Boundless creativity.
She also took several small art objects from West African countries to symbolize that space belongs to all nations.
All right.
Also on this flight, according to Bessie Coleman's biographer, Doris L. Rich, Jimson also took into orbit a photo of Coleman. Coleman was the first American African woman to ever fly an airplane. But it was just these people that she looked up to. She stayed with her roots, her culture. She took several small. I love her. I do. She let these people know this is not to symbolize that space belongs to all nations, not just to America, but to all nations. That was awesome. That was awesome. And also, she talks, as John has said, that she tries to tell people to stay interested in science. And that's actually what all the other women that you talked about, famous black women of science and doctors, they all tell when they get out and speak to other people, especially youth, they try to get them interested in science.
Right.
And that's awesome. And so do she.
Well, and I just want to comment on that Bio Cinnamon Corp, that corporation that she has. There's so many people that have this chronic pain, and so many people have stress headaches and migraine headaches. And to try to develop something that's going to help them besides taking medication, that's a blessing.
I would love you, but I think John told me that they have a cure for cancer already. They have a cure for a lot of things. They just, to keep making money, they don't tell us
They
about
treat the symptoms and not to address the issue that causes it. And that's the medical plan, medical model that they use in this country and all over the world now. Everybody's got the same psychological problems that our country's got because it makes money for somebody. So
yes, it do. It's like a circle.
Somebody's pocket.
The doctors, the pharmacists, the ones that create the pills, all of it's just a continuous circle.
The thing is, there's some legitimate reasons to use medicine, but I think the approach is probably, and I'm guilty as any American, bad nutrition. I think bad nutrition is probably the cause of like 60% of our problems. Cancer is actually fueled by poor nutrition. They found this. It's not some kind of bizarro, alternative medicine approach. It's been relatively proven pretty decently by research. So, but yeah, that's what they want to do is make some kind of pill, and that's what they do.
Wow.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Miss B.
Thank you.
Now let's move on.
Jimi Hendrix.
Now, Jimi Hendrix, I never would deal with him. I never listened to his music when I was a younger woman.
Well, I did.
Rock and roll.
I didn't understand it. It was hard rock.
Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing I knew about him though. They said that I guess he was so into drugs he couldn't play the same song the same way twice. He'd always add something.
This is from his story, is that he always, if he played today, he wanted to do something better tomorrow.
Different, yeah.
He was always improving his music. And he said this too, that they was calling him famous and celebrity and all that. He didn't really like those titles. He said, because if I start playing into it like a lot of these chaps do today, then they lose their passion for what they do. And he loved music. And from what I seen, he was such a, just a humble guy. He was humble, and he was also just seemed to be shy, except when he get up on stage.
Wow, okay.
He was totally different. They're Mr. Jimi Hendrix. Okay. James Marshall, Jimi Hendrix, but he was born Johnny Allen Hendrix. He was born on November 27, 1942 in Seattle, Washington, United States of America. So over in the United Kingdom, y'all can't claim him. He's ours.
I didn't. I thought he was born somewhere else.
No, he was born here. He got some mixtures in him, but he was born here.
No, we all got
He
that.
well, he really shows it. You can see it. He was an American African musician, singer, and songwriter. And despite a relatively brief mainstream exposure of only 4 years, he is widely considered one of the greatest and most influential electric guitarist in the history of popular music and one of the most celebrated musicians of the 20th century.
Wow.
4 years. He was only out there like just 4 years. And he got this. Okay, Mr. Jimi Hendrix. Okay. In 1961, Hendrix enlisted in the United States Army. He was granted an honorable discharge the following year. Soon afterwards, he moved to Clarksville, Tennessee, and began playing gigs on the Chitlin circuit. And a lot of them start off that way, right in that circuit called the Chitlin circuit. He eventually earned a spot in the Isley Brothers backing band and later found work with Little Richard. See, a lot of this I didn't even know that he was doing.
I didn't either.
And with
the Isley Brothers?
Yep, and Little Richard. And with whom he continued to play through mid-1965. He then joined Curtis Knight and the Squires before moving to England in the late 1966. After having been discovered by bassist Chas Chandler of the Animals. See, now that's why I probably didn't listen to it, because I just knew he was hard rock. In 1967, Hendrix earned 3 United Kingdom top 10 hits with the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Hey Joe, Purple Haze, and The Wind Cries Mary. And Lord, I listened to him play the guitar. I wouldn't mind finding one of his albums today if I could get one. He achieved fame in the United States after his performance at the Monterey Pop Festival later that year. That was in 1967. The world's highest paid performer, he headlined the Woodstock Festival in 1969 and the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 before dying from barbiturates-related asphyxia at the age of 27. Now, as far as I know, he was not into drugs. This was something that he was over there in England somewhere, United K, and he couldn't sleep, and so they gave him a pill. But they gave him too much of it.
I know he had an issue with a girlfriend because she got into heroin, and he really didn't understand that.
Yeah, he wasn't into drugs.
That's why I was always, because people say he was strung out on stuff, but he was.
Yeah, that's what the.
Now he smoked reefer.
Yeah, he smoked reefer.
But he was not into that hard stuff, heroin or cocaine or none of that, as far as I know.
That's my understanding. I mean, I've had some.
Because they sure would tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I remember reading somewhere that he was like, I think one of his ex-girlfriends OD'd on heroin. So, I mean, he was kind of dismayed by the whole use of that stuff, so, that hard stuff. So, that's what I was always told. Then somebody tried to tell me a couple weeks ago he died of heroin. I went, no, I don't think so. But who knows? But I think it was barbiturates. I really do.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I heard that he died of drugs too, because he was.
But he only took 2 pills. That show you that his body was not to that.
Well, that's what I had heard about him. Him and
too
Janis
strong for
Joplin and all of them were all grouped together, as heavy drug users.
See, he died first, I think, then Janis Joplin, and then Jim Morrison of the Doors. He was boasting when he was partying with his friends one night, or several people. He said, you're partying with number 3. And, eventually, within a few months, he was dead. Jim Morrison of the Doors was dead. And that was always kind of what happened to him. Was kind of like, was it a heart failure? Was it drug-induced? What was it? But he died in Paris.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to get a little bit more of that, but not much. because I'm almost done with him. I wanted people to know that he's the one who helped to popularize the use of the wah-wah pedal. You remember that?
Right, yeah.
In mainstream rock. He was the first artist to use stereophonic phasing effects in music recording.
What?
Holly George Warren of Rolling Stone commented, Hendrix pioneered the use of the instrument as an electronic sound source. Players before him had experimented with feedback and distortion, but Hendrix turned those effects and others into a controlled, fluid vocabulary, every bit as personal as the blues with which he began.
All right.
Now, I heard a blues song by him, and I want that one. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to find it for me.
Oh, I like that picture up there.
Yeah, that is a nice picture of him. Mm-hmm. Hendrix was the recipient of several music awards during his lifetime, and posthumously, the Jimi Hendrix Experience was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. If y'all ever get to Cleveland, go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is very interesting and has some great historical people in there. The United Kingdom Music Hall of Fame, which is located in England, in 2005. Rolling Stone ranked his 3 non-posthumous studio albums, Are You Experienced, Axis, Bold as Love, and Electric Landlady, among the 100 greatest albums of all time. And they ranked Hendrix as the greatest guitarist and the 6th greatest artist of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, that was something. That was really something. Now he has there it is, the dome. Thank you, John. This is the dome where they built this granite thing, dome for him. And it is located in Greenwood Cemetery, Renton, a suburb of Seattle where Jimmy grew up. A respectful tribute to a man made of granite. Can y'all see that? It's a dome. It's nice. It is dome-roofed, supported by 3 columns, which have images of Jimmy and handwritten quotes and song lyrics etched on them. That would be something. Why don't somebody do that for me? These folks really love this man. On the outside is a sundial, a further image of Jimmy, and his signature also etched into the granite base of the memorial. And it's located in Greenwood Cemetery, Renton, a suburb of Seattle, Washington, where he grew up at.
Wow. I was in Seattle. I wish I had known that was there. I'd have went and seen it.
John was talking to me about his genealogy. He is mixed with American African, Irish, and he has Cherokee ancestors.
Oh, well, he and I might be brother and sister.
Never know. In this country, you just never know who you, you just don't know.
Because my grandfather was Irish.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Tilly. That's my last name, Tilly.
You ever heard of Tilly hats?
Huh?
Tilly hats. They're made in Canada. They're like outdoor hats. I got one. They're really nice. They're like
really.
And they're durable. You wear them when you're outdoors a lot. For protection, this UV protection and stuff. Yeah, I got one. It's like they're $80 to $100 a piece. They're really pretty decent though.
Really?
Tilly hats, and you're a Tilly.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, and I can't speak no Irish, but hey.
A friend of mine.
Few people could speak Irish.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine went over to Ireland, and he looked up the Tillys over there. He said Tilly is a very common name.
Yeah, it's
got a hat.
Collins. I'm a descendant of Collins. That's an Irish name too, Collins. So very common name.
Okay, let's get back to Jimmy because I think we went over. Jimi Hendrix joined his ancestors on September 18, 1970, and he was only 27 years old.
Wow.
And Kingston, he loved London, England. He loved over there. As I told you earlier, he died in 1970. From a barbiturate-related asphyxia at the age of 27. Now, my understanding, they thought he was so tough in drugs, but my understanding is that woman only gave him 2 pills, but they was too strong for him.
Really?
And that's actually what he died from. And that's our story of Jimi Hendrix. And we have told our story to you today of Mae Jemison. And we hope that you enjoyed our program, and we thank you those that are watching our program. But we do need more viewers, because I'm asking y'all, support us, because we're passing it on. Now we need our youth to pass it on.
That's right.
So please give us support so that we can have more viewers over here watching this program. And we just thank those that are here.
Amen.
I thank you that you are even watching our program, and I hope you continue to watch it. But pass it on.
Pass it on.
Tell other people to watch it. We're here every second and fourth Monday at 3:30. Okay.
All right.
That's our story today. We hope you enjoyed the song you heard at the beginning of our program, Be Proud to Be Black. Don't just let your conscience be woke in starting, December Kwanzaa time. And then blacks, they conscious become, some of them anyway.
Right.
They become black consciousness.
February Black History Month.
Oh, yeah, Martin Luther King. Let this be all year long. And
Right.
this is a nice single CD featuring Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And if you would like to purchase it, the CD, it's a single, you can contact TP at 810-962-3258. And as always, like I said, I always like to thank those who have watched our program. But please pass it on. And until next time, keep on keeping on with us. And along with the sounds of TP's CD single, Be Proud to Be Black, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. May our Heavenly Father bless you and keep you safe and in his hotel, perfect peace.
Amen.
Which means peace.
Good show.
The importance of moral reformation, a knowledge of
We
self.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize, and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority. TP!
Been taught for so many centuries that they are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
It became our features and our skin and our blood why we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.